November 12, 1942. Standard procedure was to destroy it.
No. Get our best mechanic. I want to know if we can use this.
Just an American scout car. It looks crude.
The realization didn't come as a thunderbolt. It crept in.
My God. My God. It's designed for maintenance.
I've never seen such thoughtfulness in field maintenance design. Every bolt is a standard size, imagine. No special tools.
60 horsepower. Nothing amazing, but the philosophy
is revolutionary. It wasn't built to be the most advanced.
It was built for simplicity, reliability, and ease of production.
Ours needed precision and only a trained expert could provide.
Anyone with basic skills could fix it. The limitations of our approach became increasingly clear.
They could build them faster than we could imagine.
The Americans manufactured over 640,000 Jeeps.
Our production fell far short.
We managed only a little over 50,000 Kübelwagens.
Well, can we use it for our purposes? Well, sir, this vehicle is remarkably well designed. It's made by someone who understands operating conditions in the field.
German engineering is the gold standard. Take a look at this transfer case, sir.
A single lever to engage four-wheel drive. Our Kübelwagens, most don't have four-wheel drive at all.
Rear-wheel drive only. A devastating limitation.
Crude suspension, but infinitely easier to repair. It can run on almost any grade of gasoline.
And it's heavy. 910 pounds heavier than the Kübelwagen.
Our engineers would have considered this excess weight a flaw. But I recognize the method. That extra weight translates to durability.
This wasn't the incompetence propaganda had promised.
This was engineering focused on reality, not theory. Test it exhaustively.
It's going through where the Kübelwagen would be stuck. We've overloaded it, and it's still running. It absorbed everything. The low-range gearing allowed it to crawl.
The Kübelwagen's gearing couldn't match it.
Is it true? Is it better than ours?
His meticulousness was legendary, a true stickler for detail. But even he couldn't hide his disappointment. This represents a fundamental difference in approach. We build vehicles to achieve engineering perfection. The Americans build them to be manufactured.
It's cast, not finely machined. They sacrifice performance.
For massive gains in production speed.
It takes weeks to train our engine builders.
They train their workers in a fraction of that time.
These panels are crude, but can be produced by the thousands.
In factories that previously made household appliances.
We cannot match this capacity.
My report was sent up the chain of command.
One of thousands of such documents.
The Americans are outproducing us by ratios that seem impossible.
Thousands. Per day?
The Willow Run plant. One B-24 bomber every 63 minutes.
Liberty ships, launched faster than we can sink them.
America's 1942 production exceeded Germany, Italy, and Japan combined.
I trust it more than our own vehicles.
Everything is interchangeable. Perfect. I'll pay double for a working Jeep.
Then came May 13, 1943. The Afrika Korps surrendered.
250,000 men. Our war was over. But our education in American manufacturing capacity was just beginning.
For massive gains in production speed.
It takes weeks to train our engine builders.
They train their workers in a fraction of that time.
These panels are crude, but can be produced by the thousands.
In factories that previously made household appliances.
These Dodge trucks haul loads that would require two of yours. Half-tracks produced in quantities that make yours seem rare.
We learned from the last war. We build everything with common components. A bolt from a Jeep fits a truck, fits a half-track.
Makes logistics simple. Instead of needing 1,000 different parts.
It takes weeks to train their engine builders. They train their workers in a fraction of that time.
These panels are crude, but can be produced by the thousands.
In factories that previously made household appliances.
For massive gains in production speed.
It takes weeks to train our engine builders.
They train their workers in a fraction of that time.
These panels are crude, but can be produced by the thousands.
In factories that previously made household appliances.
We need maybe a couple hundred of these, and we produce them by the millions.
This was the secret German manufacturing had never fully grasped.
Component commonality. It was a logistical ecosystem. The journey to American prison camps continued the education.
Mechanical efficiency.
They sent Hill, they cake in the your acrosade that would have required armies of workers in Hamburg.
Thousands awaiting shipment to combat zones.
At Camp Hearne, Texas, we volunteered for the motor pool.
We welcome your expertise. The war effort needs every man available.
For 2 years, we maintained the vehicles of our captors. And mass production wins wars.
They gave companies just 75 days. Bantam did it in 49.
Then Willys and Ford refined it for mass production.
It wasn't elegant, but it was effective.
Sophistication slows things down. Mass production wins wars.
And mass production wins wars.
It was the solution to the problem we never knew we had.
We were so focused on quality, we forgot quantity.
And quantity won the war.
It wasn't elegant, but it was efficient.
They gave companies just 75 days. Bantam did it in 49.
Then Willys and Ford refined it for mass production.
It wasn't about perfection, it was about production.
We need maybe a couple hundred of these, and we produce them by the millions.
This was the secret. The Germans never fully grasped this.
The journey to American prison camps continued the education.
That mechanical efficiency. In Hamburg, it would require armies of workers.
We need a couple hundred, maybe. We produce them by the millions.
This was the secret we Germans never fully grasped.
Component commonality. It was a logistical ecosystem.
And everywhere, vehicles.
Thousands awaiting shipment to combat zones. They rushed that first prototype. Bantam did it in under 50 days. Then Ford and Willys refined that design. Made it manufacturable.
It wasn't elegant, no. But, sophistication slows mass production. And mass production
wins wars.
The industrial might of America was winning the war.
Summer of '44, we heard rumors of Operation Overlord.
When the news arrived, we felt no surprise.
Thousands of vehicles in the first wave alone.
$6,000 ships, 11,000 aircraft, 150,000 men.
A production base that created equipment faster than they could destroy it.
Our pre-war confidence was based on assumptions of technological superiority.
Our tanks were better armed. Our aircraft more sophisticated.
But none of that mattered, when America could produce 5 tanks for every one.
This single loading operation
represented more vehicles than my entire division in North Africa.
The mathematics became inescapable.
Hitler's last gamble relied on capturing American fuel. I'm a mechanic, formerly at Camp Hearne. I worked on American vehicles, sir. What is this for? It's a blown head gasket and a cracked distributor. Given the parts, yes. I can fix it.
Get him the parts. Let's see what he can do.
The parts depot is over there. See what you can find.
Sounds good, Captain. Much better, yeah?
Says here you worked our motor pool in Texas. 2 years?
We need mechanics desperately. You can start tomorrow.
And so, I found myself employed by the army I had fought against.
Simplicity over sophistication. Functionality over perfection.
Who knew such a crude vehicle could teach us so much?
And so, an accidental education on function, form, and unintended consequences.
Says here you worked our motor pool in Texas. 2 years? We need mechanics desperately. You can start tomorrow.
And so, I found myself employed by the army I had fought against.
I taught them what I had observed. Simplicity over sophistication. Functionality over perfection. Simplicity over sophistication. Functionality over perfection. If you were designing a vehicle for the new Germany, what would it look like?
I would adapt the American approach for European conditions.
Smaller, more fuel efficient, but the same philosophy. Common parts, simple maintenance.
That's smart. The future is American-style mass production, adapted for local conditions.
Smaller, more fuel efficient, but the same philosophy. Common parts, simple maintenance.
That's smart. The future is American-style mass production, adapted for local conditions.
This proved prophetic.
West German manufacturing adopted American production philosophy.
The Volkswagen Beetle. Simple, reliable, manufacturable in huge quantities.
The synthesis of German precision and American production efficiency.
German military leaders admired the Jeep more than anything.
The U.S. Army published a complete guide to operate our Kübelwagen.
The Wehrmacht never published an equivalent manual for the Jeep.
80% of our divisions relied on horse-drawn transport.
American divisions were completely motorized.
They could move hundreds of kilometers in a day.
We averaged perhaps 30.
The Jeep became the symbol of this disparity.
Americans treated it as disposable.
Germans used captured Jeeps preferentially.
The final Afrika Korps reunion, 1998.
A local museum had acquired one. I captured one of these in '42. Best vehicle I ever drove. I examined one in Tunisia. Couldn't believe how simple the design was. And realized then we'd been approaching vehicle design all wrong. Which I lied. They made over 600,000 of them. We never had vehicles like this.
Not in those numbers. Not with that reliability.
We built for perfection. They built for production.
This was the lesson that Wehrmacht mechanics had absorbed.
A lesson that shaped post-war Germany.
The Jeep had been more than a vehicle. It had been an education.
And we, humbled by defeat, proved to be excellent students.
That knowledge became the foundation for our reconstruction.
German engineering is the finest in the world. We build adequate products in massive quantities.
Reality taught us otherwise.
Functional effectiveness matters more than sophisticated design.
Designing for manufacture serves better than designing for perfection. Those lessons helped transform Germany from enemy to prosperous ally.
Our pride told us that quality would triumph.
We never had vehicles like this.
Not in the numbers. Not in the numbers. Not with the reliability.
We built for perfection. They built for production.
This was the lesson that Wehrmacht mechanics had absorbed.
Our pride told us that quality would triumph.
Reality taught us otherwise.
It's designed by someone who understands field conditions.
We had confused peacetime quality with wartime effectiveness. Our logistics were a nightmare. Theirs were streamlined.
We fought with horses. They fought with trucks.
They built for production.
Into your convalescence. This was the lesson the Wehrmacht mechanics absorbed.
A lesson that shaped post-war Germany.
The Jeep had been more than a vehicle. It was an education, right?
Humbled by defeat, we proved to be excellent students.
Can we even salvage anything from this rust bucket?
We did a lot more than that.
We learned from it.
We had confused sophistication with strength.
Dad, where you scientists have fun with that. We design it so any farm boy can fix it.
It seems our material disparity has caught up with us.
We're pumping these things out like there's no tomorrow.
the mathematics, the relentless mathematics, it all adds up.
Defeat is a harsh teacher.
But American engineering offered a path forward.